Work hard but still not wealthy? It's not your fault. The rich don't work harder, they have a system. They just do the right things consistently. This video reveals 5 simple but powerful actions from that system to help you build real, lasting wealth one day at a time. Stop guessing and start building a future where your hard work finally pays off. Principle 1. Always spend less than you earn. Despite years of hard work, many middle-aged individuals find themselves financially stagnant, perpetually wondering why financial freedom remains out of reach. The answer often lies not in complex investment strategies, but in a deceptively simple yet foundational principle: consistently spend less than you earn. This rule is the bedrock of all sustainable wealth, yet it is frequently overlooked in a culture that champions consumerism. This principle is not about deprivation. It is about creating a deliberate financial surplus. This surplus is the engine for wealth creation, the capital used for saving, investing, and building an emergency fund that shields you from debt. A practical framework like the 50-30-20 rule proves that wealth is determined not by the size of your paycheck, but by the portion you keep. A person earning $4,000 and saving $800 monthly is building wealth faster than someone earning $10,000 but spending it all. The most profound benefit of this discipline is freedom. It is the freedom from the stress of living paycheck to paycheck, the freedom from the panic of an unexpected expense, and the freedom to make life choices unburdened by financial pressure. This financial cushion is what allows you to start investing in assets like S&P 500 index funds or Roth IRAs, letting the power of compound interest work for you. For those in their prime earning years, now is the most critical time to master this habit. The responsibilities of middle age demand a solid financial foundation, and failing to control spending now means forfeiting the best opportunity to build a secure future. It's never too late to start. The ability to manage a small budget is the prerequisite to managing larger wealth later on. Ultimately, living below your means is the non-negotiable first step on the path to financial independence. It is the habit that fuels every other wealth-building strategy. It requires no market predictions or expert knowledge, only the discipline to take control of your spending. This single, consistent choice is the master key that unlocks the door to a secure and self-directed future.
Principle 2. Automate your finances. Make wealth a habit. For the busy middle-aged professional, financial management often falls victim to a packed schedule, leading to neglected savings and missed opportunities. The most powerful yet simple strategy to overcome this is financial automation. This is not merely a time-saving tip, but a robust system that replaces fallible willpower with an unemotional, disciplined process that builds wealth in the background. This practice operationalizes the pay yourself first principle. By setting up automatic transfers from your paycheck to savings, investment, and debt repayment accounts, you make progress on your financial goals the default action, not an afterthought. This system erects an invisible wall of discipline, circumventing the impulse buys and emotional spending that occur when money sits idle in a checking account. It ensures consistency, regardless of your motivation levels. The system's power extends beyond mere saving. For long-term investing, automation is the engine of dollar-cost averaging. Regular, fixed contributions into accounts like a 401k or index funds turn market volatility into an advantage, eliminating the stress of trying to time the market. For debt repayment, it ensures steady progress, helping you avoid late fees and improve your credit score methodically. It is the quiet, relentless force that clears your financial path. The long-term impact is profound. A consistent, automated investment of a few $100s a month can grow into a substantial sum over 2 decades through the power of compounding. The difference between financial security and stagnation is often not income, but the presence of an intelligent system. One person with a system can accumulate hundreds of thousands of dollars, while another with the same income but no system may end up with nothing. Ultimately, Automation transforms wealth building from a series of stressful, conscious decisions into a quiet, background process. It requires one smart setup, not constant effort. It is the most effective way to ensure your financial future is built on a foundation of discipline, not just good intentions.
Principle 3. Invest long-term in growth assets. After years of hard work, it's only natural to want your money to start working for you. But suppose most of your wealth is still sitting in a traditional savings account, earning just 0.5% to 1% per year. In that case, you might be quietly losing money to inflation, while real opportunities for growth are happening elsewhere. Here's the truth. Saving alone won't make you wealthy. Only investing can do that. And to truly build lasting wealth, you need to start investing long-term in growth assets, like the stock market, index ETFs, or rental real estate. This isn't a revolutionary idea. The wealthiest people in America, from seasoned investors to financially independent retirees, all follow the same formula. Put their money into assets that grow in value over time and hold them for as long as possible. Take the stock market, for example. If you invest in the S&P 500, a benchmark index of America's 500 largest companies, the long-term average annual return has historically ranged from 8% to 10%. Compare that to the 1% interest on a savings account, and the gap is enormous. A $100,000 investment in an S&P 500 ETF could grow to over $215,000 in 10 years if reinvested, while that same money sitting in a savings account might barely reach $105,000 or even less when adjusted for inflation. Long-term investing also taps into the power of compound interest, what Einstein once called the eighth wonder of the world. By reinvesting your earnings year after year, your returns grow not just on your principal, but also on the profits you've already made. Over time, this creates a snowball effect, slow at first, but eventually compounding into exponential growth. The U.S. stock market is one of the most stable and transparent in the world, and with modern tools like ETFs, exchange-traded funds, you can easily invest in hundreds of companies with a single transaction. No need to pick individual stocks or bet on market trends. Just choose a fund, invest consistently each month, and let time do the work. Rental real estate can also be a powerful long-term investment, if managed properly. While property values can fluctuate in the short term, over the long run, both home prices and rental income tend to rise. In addition to monthly cash flow, you benefit from long-term appreciation, especially in areas with stable populations and strong housing demand. But here's the most important part of investing in growth assets: discipline and patience. Many people make the mistake of pulling out too early, panicking during market downturns, or constantly trying to buy low and sell high. But studies have shown that long-term investors consistently outperform short-term traders. In fact, if you miss just the 10 best market days over a 10-year period, your total returns can be cut in half. That's why the smartest investment strategy isn't trying to beat the market, it's staying in it long enough. Make investing a regular part of your life, just like automating contributions to your 401k, Roth IRA, or retirement account. You don't need to watch the market every day or analyze earnings reports. You just need to trust in time and economic growth. For middle-aged individuals, those in their peak earning years but also approaching retirement, long-term investing is even more critical. Every year you delay is a year you miss out on the power of compounding. And if your future depends solely on bank interest or Social Security, your financial freedom may fall far short of your expectations. Of course, all investments carry some risk, but not investing, letting your money quietly lose value to inflation, carries an even bigger one. Instead of hoping your savings are safe, shift to a proactive mindset. Make your money grow through strategic, long-term, and consistent investing. You don't need to be a financial expert to succeed. You just need to start. Invest regularly, hold for the long haul, and don't let emotion dictate your decisions. Wealth isn't built on luck.
It's built on small, consistent actions repeated over time.
Principle 4. Avoid consumer debt and prioritize paying it off early. On the journey to building wealth, it's not just about how much you earn, it's about how much you keep after expenses and debt. And for many middle-aged Americans, one of the biggest obstacles to financial freedom is high-interest consumer debt. Take credit cards, for example, one of the most widely used financial tools in the U.S. Many people use them for everyday spending without realizing that average interest rates can soar past 20% annually. If you carry a balance and don't pay it off in full each month, the interest can quietly snowball into hundreds or even thousands of dollars, turning a simple purchase into a long-term financial burden. The smart financial principle here is simple. Eliminate high-interest debt, especially credit cards and personal loans, as soon as possible. Doing so not only eases monthly financial pressure, but also saves you a substantial amount of money in the long run. For example, if you owe $10,000 on a credit card at 20% APR and make only the minimum payments, you could end up paying more than $5,000 in interest over just 3 years. That's money you could have invested, saved, or used to improve your life and your family's future. But the benefits of becoming debt-free aren't just financial, they're emotional and psychological too. When you're no longer carrying the weight of bad debt, something shifts. You stop feeling anxious every time a bill comes due. You stop paying for your past, and you start building toward your future. True financial freedom begins the moment you're no longer shackled to what you owe. Some might say 15 to 20% interest isn't that bad. But remember, very few investments can consistently generate guaranteed 15 to 20% annual returns. That's why paying off consumer debt is one of the safest investments you can make, because you're saving money you know you would have lost, instead of gambling on uncertain gains. Paying off debt also improves your credit score, a crucial factor if you ever want to buy a home, finance a car, or refinance your mortgage. A clean credit report free of delinquent credit card debt can qualify you for lower interest rates and better financial opportunities down the road. Think of managing debt as the foundation you lay before building wealth. Just like you wouldn't pour a concrete foundation on top of clutter, you shouldn't start advanced investing strategies while still carrying toxic debt. That doesn't mean living extremely frugally or cutting all enjoyment out of life. It simply means getting your priorities in order. Every extra dollar should go toward eliminating the liabilities that are silently draining your net worth. Many Americans use the snowball method, paying off the smallest debt first, then rolling that payment into the next one. This builds momentum and motivation as each balance disappears. Others prefer the avalanche method, paying off the highest interest debt first to save more money overall. Whichever strategy you choose, the most important thing is to get started with a plan and with consistency. For people in their 40s to 60s, eliminating bad debt has an additional benefit. It frees up cash flow that can be redirected toward retirement investments. Instead of putting $500 to $1,000 a month toward interest payments, imagine investing that into your 401k, Roth IRA, or a diversified ETF portfolio and letting it grow for the next 10 to 15 years. You've probably heard the phrase, "No one gets rich borrowing money to spend." That's an undeniable truth. Overspending with debt doesn't just erode your wealth, it delays your freedom. It turns your paycheck into a repayment plan instead of a tool for building a better future. So if you're serious about becoming financially free, start by tackling consumer debt, one step at a time. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to keep moving forward. Every dollar of debt paid down brings you one step closer to independence.
Principle 5. Always protect your wealth. One of the most common financial mistakes people make in middle age is this: spending decades working hard to build wealth, only to neglect protecting it. The truth is, a single unexpected event, An accident, illness, job loss, or legal dispute can wipe out years of effort if you don't have a strong financial safety net in place. That's why people with lasting financial wisdom prioritize asset protection before chasing big investment returns. A solid protection system is built on 3 pillars: comprehensive insurance, a clear estate plan, and a strong emergency fund. Let's start with insurance. In the U.S., a single medical procedure or hospital stay can cost tens of thousands of dollars. Without health insurance or proper life coverage, a medical emergency could plunge you and your family into financial crisis. Insurance isn't a luxury or an extra expense. It's a baseline safety net that shields you from life's unexpected blows. It doesn't just prevent financial devastation, it brings peace of mind, allowing you to focus on long-term growth without living in fear. Next is the will. Many people think estate planning is only for the wealthy, but the truth is, every family needs one. Without a will, your assets can be frozen, misallocated, or spark long and painful family disputes. In some cases, families spend years entangled in legal complications simply because one document was missing. Creating a will doesn't take much time, but it's an act of deep responsibility. It not only protects what you've built, it preserves harmony for those you love. Finally, the emergency fund. This is your cash reserve, typically 3 to 6 months' worth of essential living expenses, set aside to cover unexpected events like job loss, car trouble, medical bills, or surprise costs. An emergency fund acts like a financial cushion. Instead of turning to credit cards, selling assets, or withdrawing investments during a market downturn, you tap into this reserve. It keeps your long-term financial plan intact, even when life throws curveballs. And for those in their 40s to 60s, when responsibilities grow heavier and income can fluctuate, this fund becomes even more essential. In short, building wealth is a long game, but protecting it is a strategic art. If you focus only on earning and investing, but ignore protection, it's like building a beautiful home with no locks on the doors. One strong gust, and everything can be swept away. Financially successful people aren't just good at making money, they're wise enough to keep it safe in any season. That's what a protection system does. Insurance, estate planning, and emergency reserves together form a shield that allows you to keep moving forward confidently no matter what comes your way.
You don't need to be an expert to build wealth, just disciplined. Master 5 key principles: spend less, automate, invest long-term, control debt, and protect your assets. Wealth is built from small daily actions, and it's never too late to start. If this helped, please like, subscribe, and share. Now comment below, which of these 5 principles are you already doing well?